Hey folks, this is episode 5. Born and raised in South Detroit. I'm Mike J. Lots been going on lately again. I haven't made a video in a little bit. I think the 20th was the last video I made. A little bit going on. I've been spending a lot of time outside. Nothing crazy, but spending time with the kids and stuff outside. It's my son's birthday on the 2nd, so had a party and stuff, and so get back into it. I got a 30-day ban on Facebook yesterday. Actually, they're really amping up this the censorship now. It's beyond censorship at this point. I got a 30-day ban. Somebody give a little backstory about it. So I had posted one of my videos in a group. I can't even remember what one it was. And this woman, dare I say woman, not manatee, tells me that it's nonsense and I'm a conspiracy theorist because of the content in my video. And so I say, I don't say conspiracy theories, man. Like, I'm very careful on that. I get into conspiracy theories, but in my video there was none. So she goes back and forth with me, calling me racist conspiracy theorist. So starts attacking personal character, and I can't even remember where it went, but what I said was, okay, fatty. I know, childish. However, I don't even know if she was fat. It was just something rude to say because she was being rude to me. And I got a 30-day ban for saying fatty. Now, that's pretty scary shit. That means you can't even go back and forth insulting people now. Now that is being censored. Saying, just personal jabs at each other when you're in an argument. I've been banned for saying idiot, too. So, I mean, this isn't anything new, but it's insanity, man. Like, Facebook is honestly, they're losing everybody that was very keen on only using Facebook at one time. That's how I was. I remember when we were switching over from MySpace those days, I didn't even want to go to Facebook, and then I went to it, and I loved it. It seemed a lot better than MySpace, but now I've lost a 12-year-old account. I think I had mentioned that to somebody or on one of my videos. 12-year-old account I've had from 2006. I lost it in 2018. And all my family pictures, all the old, friends that had passed away that I'll never be able to see their profile again because whatever happens after they die and it's inactive for a while, they just kind of, it just kind of sits stagnant and you can't really go on it. But, I mean, I could add the person, but they can't accept it. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So, that was taken away. And then now, this is the second weird 30-day ban I've gotten. And it's just getting ridiculous. I mean, I know it's been getting ridiculous, but they're just going way too far with this shit, man. And the thing is, I know when Trump won last time, it was like, okay, now they're going to start putting the ban hammer on everybody and blah, blah, blah. So if he wins again, are they going to do the same thing? Because it's not like he can get reelected again. So does it matter if people are using his rhetoric or not? Do we get our fucking accounts back? Of course not. But I just don't know how much further they can go with it. Like, where does it end? Are they going to keep doing it after Trump wins again? Or if he loses, like, is this shit going to stop? Because I remember under Obama, man, none of us got our fucking accounts taken. It was very rare that somebody got kicked off of social media. But I don't know. I've made the move of Parler or Parley, however you call it. I kept seeing people talking about it, and so I hopped on there, and I actually enjoy it. It's very similar to Twitter, I guess. The thing I like about it, there's a lot of conservative voices there, which I know that's cringy to even say. I'm not really like a conservative, but there's a lot of the old conservative voices from back in the day there, and I noticed when I post my video there, man, it fucking blew up. Like, mind you, it's still not very many views, but compared to like when I put it on Facebook and, you know, 3 people look at it and then the rest call me a racist conspiracy theorist. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually got quite a few little hits from there, and that was nice. It seems okay. Like it, I think I had mentioned in one of my posts, you know, we all tried Minds back in the day. The fucking shit show. Gab, same thing. Telegram, it was like Telegram was okay, but it only had like the DM aspect of things. You could have a group, but it's the same as just adding a bunch of people into a group chat. It kind of sucked. But that for a while, that's like what everybody was like trying to figure out, like, where do we go? But I seem to like Parley so far. Um, I'm sure eventually it'll turn into everything else and start getting censored and whatever. But hey, what can we do, man? Like I said, I don't know if Biden wins and then all the shit stops, or Trump wins and all the shit stops, or it gets amplified. I know a lot of people are saying that's going to be the tipping point for the Civil War. It's already happening pretty well. Like you wear a Trump hat anywhere in these major cities these days, you're getting fucking pelted, you're getting attacked. It's come so far since the days of, George W. fucking, and people just not liking you or disagreeing with you or discounting your opinion if you liked Bush. It's to the point where you're getting attacked and beat and fucking doxxed and everything nowadays. If you even, not even if you like Trump, just if you kind of lean a little bit right. That's the craziest part about it. Like, you don't even have to fully support somebody. You just have to not deal with the fucking 7% of the population that's on Twitter. You go against them and, they're fucking, they have it out for you. Funny thing about that is I'm not big on Twitter. I never have been. I put my video on Twitter. The next day, like within 24 hours, barely anybody saw it because I don't have any followers. It was followed, or it was retweeted by some racist content, fucking whatever, like somebody that's like monitoring shit. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, Jesus, that's how quick that mob gets you, eh? Whatever. I have no problem with blocking people. I'm so tired of these people like, no, that's not free speech. Who gives a fuck? If someone's bothering you, man, just block them. Who cares? I don't mean like criticism. I mean, if somebody's just not providing any kind of anything. Like, if you get in beefs with people, whatever, that's fine. I don't mind fucking going back and forth with somebody. I don't care if they attack me. But if it's just not, if there's nothing that's going to come of it, fucking just get rid of them, man. Like those, especially those kind of things, I have no fucking problem with. These like right-wing watch kind of things. Like, I have my real name, man. I'm not trying to hide behind any screen name, shit like that. And I have all these idiots like fucking attacking me under screen names. Like, fuck off, man. It's ridiculous. I would have no problem if they fucking had their name on there. But no, they don't want to do that. There was a huge controversy at one of these fucking schools in the States, you know, simply because somebody used their real name, I guess. So maybe it's not a great idea if you want to keep a squeaky clean image in the public eye. Me, I don't care, man. If you want to call me this, call me that. Probably been called worse. But that kid from one of the schools that put out those George Floyd tweets where it was saying 30 days sober, things like that. Gigi, sit down. Go on. My dogs are acting crazy right now. They must hear something. Gigi, go lay down. Go on. Hey, go lay down. Go. But, yeah, they attacked this kid because he said 30 days sober for George Floyd, and then they said the people would be more angry about that tweet than something else similar. I can't remember, but just like, you know, they were saying that if this kid wasn't suspended or expelled, they were gonna like protest or some stupid shit for the school. It just makes me think, how did these people get so sensitive? Like, what is it about it? People that, these people that are like gangster black dudes, like talking about shooting and killing people, but, somebody makes a joke or a tweet that's, just, in your opinion, in bad taste, and you need to make that big of a deal about it? It's honestly, it's embarrassing. It's nowhere more prevalent than like a subculture that I was very into for a while. Battle rapping. Battle rap is pretty cool. It's come a long way from, the Eminem fucking 8 Mile days, but that medium it's pretty cool. It's it's all a cappella now. I mean, if you know any idea about it, this is kind of irrelevant to talk about, but yeah, it's like it's all a cappella now, and it's all pre-written. So your battle, 2 months ahead, and I'm battling this guy, and I can do all my research and structure these rounds towards this person. But what I'm getting at is the it's all gun related pretty well. There's some guys that kind of put lyricism behind it, but most of the time it's all, different names for guns and what people are going to do to their opponent's family and shit. However, the one thing you can't touch on is black race. You can do, making fun of Asians, that's no problem. Hispanics, Jews, anything. But like as soon as somebody says something about a black dude, people get really mad about it. And I don't know why. That's like the one thing that's off limit. But I have to bring up a man named Cadillac Ron. His name is actually Robert Paulson. He was a battle rapper from LA. Passed away a few years ago. This man, he was the pioneer in trying to break that double standard, or that that taboo in battle rap. This man is nuts. He was amazing. If you have time, look up Cadillac Ron on YouTube, or even his music is very good. It's on, I believe it's on Spotify probably. It's on Apple Music, iTunes, whatever. But his battles specifically, if you want to look into free speech and trying to break molds, man, this man was nuts. He, like I said, most people, you bring up any type of black thing, and it's like it's trying to get shut down. People try to shut it down. This man did not care. He was all about it. He went all in, every time. And, he talked about how, this double standard was there, and it had a lot to do with free speech. He believed no lines, man. No lines, no limits. And most battlers do feel that way, except that one thing. But him, he did not care. This guy, like, even besides all that, he's been one of my favorites just because of how much of a character he made for himself out of this. Like this Cadillac Ron character. There was like the Robert Paulson and then the Cadillac Ron character, right? And, they were kind of interchangeable at times. He was sober, though, when he created this character, which is the funniest part. Because he was, a druggie, fucking junkie, crazy person that cuts himself and, racial stereotypes and this and that. And, yeah, he was sober when he created this character, but he was never afraid to push lines on there. Never once. Like, he was always willing to push lines. It didn't matter who it was. And I mean, on top of it, like, it wasn't like he just kind of threw that out there and that was it. He was an amazing lyricist, too. Like, if you listen to the structures of his things, were incredible. And, he was sober from like 2009 to 2014, I believe. And then he screwed up and he came back sober and he was the best he'd ever been. He called himself like 3.0, man. Like he was like the best version of himself. And unfortunately, he passed away. He, eventually relapsed again. Well, allegedly, I shouldn't say that because I don't know. But allegedly relapsed and that was it, unfortunately. And a lot of people that battled him always talked about that. Like, if you go down that rabbit hole one more time, man, you're not coming out. And unfortunately, he didn't. But the impact he made on the battle scene and the music scene in general, like, he had interviews with Vice, Spin Magazine, Complex, I believe, as well. I can't remember, but he made such a mark on all of that. And like the West Coast West Coast rap scene in general, man, like this guy had a fucking impact on it. When he came out, he was like the skinny white dude with long blonde hair, co-signed by like crazy names out there. Like Mac Mall, big name. And like AP9, like a few other like pretty big names out that way. He was co-signed, man. Like everybody loved him. And it was unfortunate that he passed away. But he, like I said, if people take anything from my videos, check out Cadillac Ron. That's it, man. Check him out. He is the fucking man. And he's a big inspiration to me just because of how he was willing to cross any line, man. He didn't care. And the funny thing is he actually was, I don't know if he was with her when he died, but he was with a woman named Annie Hardy, who was also like a line pusher. Like she was in a rock band called Giant Drag. They're good on their own accord as well. They're amazing. And they were together, Cadillac and Annie. And they made videos together and this and that. And it's just funny because I had recently saw Annie Hardy on Parler or Parley, whatever. And I had followed her and she was making videos similar to what I am. Like she was talking about the satanicness of, all these different movements. And Cadillac talked about this 5-6 years ago, like of the certain alphabet movement, how it has like a satanic a satanic premise to it in general. Like even down to like rainbow flags being like the rainbow being stolen from, Noah's flood. And Annie's like, she's looking at the BLM movement now and all the, the dark shit that's involved with that. And I was just blown away that, she's still doing things like that as well. So I thought that was cool. But anyways, yeah, I was following her on Parler now. Parler, whatever. And yeah, it was just, she's really interesting as well. So if you can, check her out as well. She's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've had quite a few people lately jumping on me about the BLM thing. On my last video, I talked about this kid that was like a fuck up at my old job. And he messaged something on one of my posts, and he's like, oh, wow, the BLM thing really showed your true colors. And I'm like, true colors? I've always felt this way about them since the Trayvon thing, man. Like, that's where it all started, and, it was all built on a lie. He was smashing Zimmerman's head into the ground, and, Zimmerman, whether or not he's a piece of shit, because I've heard many accounts that he was an awful dude and whatever, but that's where it all started. And then it went from the Mike Brown thing where the hands up don't shoot thing was pushed, which was found to be a lie as well. The Philando Castile thing, lie. What was the other guy? Alton Sterling, lie. Like, these are all just pushed. But yeah, so he says that I'm, it showed my true colors. I'm like, dude, I've always felt this way. And I mean, I don't care what, these people want to say about me. It doesn't bother me. People know how I am. It's funny that, who you are is just how people perceive you. That's it. It doesn't matter what you say. This is what is so amazing to me is like, white supremacists say that they're white supremacists. They're not afraid to say that. And like, if I felt that way, I would tell you. I'm not like that. Like, I would tell you. These people just don't, because they're so fake, they think that everybody else is. So, if you have this view, you're this, and it doesn't matter what you say. Like, even down to like Jared Taylor, he's very vocal on race issues, and he says he's not like a white supremacist. Why would he lie? He says everything else that he wants to. Why would that be where he stops himself? He's already kicked off so many platforms. Like, why would he lie at this point? It's so dumb. Like, why do these people get to tell us what we are? It makes no sense. And I just don't get how people can be so self-hating anymore. Like, you hate whites and you're a white. Like, there's something wrong with you. If you can't love yourself or who you are or your ancestors for something, that you never did, it's, there's a problem there. You have psychological issues. You have to. Like, as if, if I met one of my family members, if somehow I had a time machine, I'd be telling him that, well, in my day, I hate you, and I hate myself, and I hate this and that. Like, no. Just be happy with who you are, man. Like, honestly, if you hate whites, you have a problem. The thing is, whether or not you want to believe it, we brought a lot of good to the world. And whether or not people say that Columbus was this and Columbus was that, he still brought natives the wheel. they didn't have that. They didn't have a simple wheel to make things. It's not a bad thing. You know how many native friends I have that say that it was a good thing? Colonization or whatever you call it. They say it was a good thing because so many good things were brought. There was atrocities, of course. There was always atrocities in the world. Like, that's another thing is, like, you don't go to parts of Asia where, the Chinese killed the Japanese or whatever, and then push your shit there. Like, no, this is Chinese land, not Japanese land. Nobody does that. It's only whites that they attack. That's it. And the natives that I know that say this, they're not wrong, man. Like, they're saying good things came out of this. It wasn't just, people were killed. And the thing is, before the whites got here, people were being killed worse. Tribes were being enslaved. Human sacrifices. Like, this was all going on. And to say that it was just when whites came here, it's just not true. That's just how it is. It's not true. Speaking of which, a native friend of mine, she was on one of her tribal council things, whatever you call it, and she brought a lot of conservative ideas to a certain tribe around here, and the good thing about that is it's helps them be more self-sufficient. I just read recently that they're opening up a restaurant now that's going to be like part of Canadian tourism. It's like mixing native dishes with whatever. But that wouldn't have happened if it was just one of those tribes where they want the government to just throw money at it. And that happens all the time. There's been plenty of corrupt chiefs in Canada that just take all the money and don't distribute it to their people, and they have brand new Benzes and beautiful house, and their people don't have running water. So her helping with implanting these conservative ideas has now grown this business idea that's gonna make the tribe money. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, I was so proud of her, and it's not her restaurant. It's not even like her brother's restaurant, but it's part of what she did. She pushed this, working initiative. And now they have this going on, and, hopefully it does well. I hope very much it does well. I will definitely support them. It's a great thing. I'm so proud of that. She's a great woman. She's one of my good friends. Wife. One of my good friends that I actually met through being a Proud Boy at one time. He was the one that opened my eyes on, like, some of the shit that some of the people were doing that made me really want to get out of it. He was the first one to kind of bail. But, yeah, I met him through that, and I'm really glad I did because he was such a great guy. And like I said, his wife, had a big part of this tribe making all this money and this and that. So, yeah. There's a lot of things, too, that, like, have happened in these couple weeks that have just been talked about to death. So it's like I don't even want to bring it up. Like, Breton Job getting COVID-19 after he pushed so many times that it was probably fake and this and that, and now he has it. I don't know if he got over it already, but that just kills me that he fucking ended up getting it. After all the shit he talked. It's fucking hilarious to me. And I don't know if you know who Breton Job even is. He's just a comedian. And it's just so funny. He pushed, don't wear a mask, this, that, go out, do what you want. And then all of a sudden, he ends up getting it. So that kind of proves, man, that it is a little bit real, at least just a little bit. Whether or not it's contrived or inflated, who knows? But yeah, that was funny to see. My area finally just went into stage 2. And everything's starting to open, but it's mandatory masks everywhere, which is fucking irritating. I never wore a mask before we absolutely had to. I can't get over how irritating it is. Oh my god, it's so hot. First off, my fucking face just sweats like that. I'm basically waterboarding myself at that point because I'm breathing and it's just soaked and I'm breathing it in. It's horrendous. And then, like, on top of that, my daughter has to wear one and I'm like trying to put it on her little face and it's fucking falling off. And then just such a fucking headache, man. I can't believe they make us do this. Like, it's nice that things are starting to open again, but now it's like fucking everything is everywhere. You have to wear a fucking mask. Ugh, so irritating. Yeah, a few other things too. Like, I know people have been covering the Chaz murders. How many there's been now? Shootings, this and that. That poor kid that got killed there. The best part about that story is that Trump called the parents of that kid or the dad of that kid. And he's like, man, I don't even like Trump, but, the mayor didn't reach out to me. Nobody else did, but Trump did. He didn't have to do that. That shows a lot of character. Well, I was probably mad at him for doing that, but it's like, he did it, man. He's not that bad of a guy. You guys are going to realize. I think I had mentioned too on one of my posts the other day. Trump was like basically, I don't know if he was, it's not even that he was scared to do it, but it's like he had to be like reluctant on supporting these people that pulled out their guns on their private property on those protesters. And it's like, if he just said, I do love whites. I support them. I support everyone else. But whites aren't left out. The left would have a field day with that, first off. But I feel like his base would just be like, okay, finally, somebody says it. Because nobody's standing up for them. They just avoid it altogether. That's a scary thing. Because the population is going down. That's one thing. But the fact that people can't even say that they support whites is just insane. Because I personally, man, there's not a single person that I love more than my daughter. So it's like, do I love whites more than other colors? Yeah, I guess. If that's what you're going to go on. Because there's not a single person in general, no matter what color, that I love more than my daughter. And my family. So it's like, in my eyes, technically, whites are who I love the most, I guess. And I don't care. That's just how it is. But yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure when I'm gonna put out another one of these guys, but I'm gonna try to make it quicker than 12 days next time. I was blown away to see it, how many like views I got, and then they were going down on YouTube, which is nuts to me because I don't have that many, but it was, it was going down almost 100 out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then it would go back up, and then it would go down, and it was just all over the place. And it was like really pissing me off because I don't have that many. So when it goes down 50 or 100, it looks like a lot. But hopefully I can get this thing spread out and get some more views and subs. And yeah. Hope everybody has a good 4th of July, and see you next time.